Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well. And no, it's not wine. It's pomegranate juice. See, that's what it is. Nice rainy night. And I thought I wanted to share with you some thoughts about why we have lost our ways, why human being has become who she has become. Were we meant to become what we have? I want to discuss that with you because it seems to me like we've been manipulated and we've lost our way in the way we negotiate life and understand what we should strive for, aim for, focus on, reach for. And why is it that we do what we do and we are how we are? Just a little talk, not necessarily related to relationship and all that. Mind you, that becomes part of it. But let's chat. You see, when a child is born, it is born from the nature, out of the energy of the universe. We're not talking about the process of it, we're talking about in its eventuality. Where is it coming from? Where is the whole life coming from? So when a child is born, it's coming this life with no program, other than certain instinct and so on. It's got no agenda, no program, no culture. And it comes in this life in two forms, in two parts. The connection with the nature through the energy that flows through it, and the physical connection that it has to the nature, to Earth. That's the name of our planet. So, in the child's mind, there is no me and the nature, me and that, me and the universe. In the child's mind is only it. All is one. There is no division between it and the outside world. Him, me, and the nature, me and the trees, me and whatever else. It's only one thing, a whole thing, and I'm with that whole thing. The child doesn't distinguish. There's no division. There's no conflict between it, him, her, or outside of it. There's only one. Inside, outside is the same thing. But we program it. Through our childhood, we become programmed to understand that there is a separation between universe and me, nature and you. We learn. So from the beginning, not knowingly, it's not on purpose, through people who raise us, which they have gone through the same process, they separate us. We're separated from the nature to realize we are not one with the nature. Contrary to what the child itself thinks, which has no thought about it, which means it's total harmony and oneness. Like the molecules of airs and me makes no difference to There's no such thinking in his material process, in his brain, that I am what I am, that is what it is. There's a difference between me and life, me and universe, me and nature. It just observes, it's all part of the whole thing, and he himself is part of what is. But we are manipulated and taught how to separate ourselves from the nature and understand, or become to understand, or become to know, become to believe that we are not one. The natural state of our being is being one with the nature, being one with the universe, because that's where we come from. The energy flows from one end of the universe to the other end of the universe, and through us, passes through us, and we are made of that energy, and that energy has created us, and we are the energy, and the energy passes through us and then continues forward. So we are constantly also, like the rest of the energy of the universe, is in movement of visiting and flowing throughout the universe. But we have stopped that perfect flow by thinking that I am me, I am separate. The individuality from each other is not limited to recognizing we are different than somebody else, so to speak. But the individuality has come to be, I'm different from what I've come from. I'm different from what I'm born from. I'm different energy, different entity from what that actually gave me life. It's like separating yourself from yourself. Separating yourself from the universe being you, and you come from it, but now you're trying to say, I am separate from what I've been born from, what I've come from. Which already creates the mentality of division, a separation, conflict. Because when you think you're not one, therefore there would be naturally opposing thoughts, interests, me and it, and so on and so forth, like anything else. So then we are raised in a way of thinking that now that we are not one with the nature, therefore we now have to struggle to become more than what we are, because that's what the society brainwashes us and conditions us to be better than somebody else. And by being better, it means relying on things. Go for more clothes, go for more toys, go for more affirmation, go for more money, go for a car. Now, they teach us that in order for you to become powerful, which you could control the universe, so to speak, that's the power that everybody is ultimately facing, which they actually had that when they were born. They were one with that, what they are trying to strive for, to become as powerful as. And so for that, you now have to do this. You got to go to school, you got to do this, and then do this, and then make this much money. Then you got to have a girlfriend. If you're a boy, you're a lady, you got to have a husband, you got to have a, boyfriend. And then you got to do this, you got to work for this company or that company, and you got to comply. And suddenly, before you know it, the child is totally separated from where we are, separated from where we came from. So our part of mind, the energy, is totally, successfully, has been separated from the source, from our, what we're made out of. The physical part still is walking on earth, so it's still in connection. But yet the physical part does not have that equipment to absorb and understand the flow of life, because it's physical. By physical means, we don't understand really anything. It's our mind that understands, absorbs, becomes one with, realizes, and all that stuff. So even though physically we're still connected to Earth, to our planet, but the other part of us, which completes us, which is the mind, the energy, that through our lifelong journey of being, growing up, is totally incapable of its connection and understanding and communication with the energy of the universe, which that's all it was before even the physical part would have been added to it. The energy first, then the physical entity, the physical part of us became part of the energy, then energy and the physical part together became who we are. But then through childhood, the energy part, connection with the universe, oneness with the humongous power that we all can understand and want and wish to be part of it, we got separated from it. Then the values that was put in our head was to go for more of this, more of that, more of that, and constantly we're so busy in trying to become more through material thing that we totally forgot our connection and our focus, that at least big part of it should have been on the nature itself, the flow and energy of the nature, the harmony with the nature, understanding of the rhythm of the nature, the rhythm of the nature. And our focus totally went on things that they themselves were only a fragment of the actual source, the universe. Yet we pursued them thinking that they're the one who actually brings us that power that we are hungry for. Yet those things, none of them can represent any real power, let alone be the whole total of the universal energy that we stem from, we come from. So we are left physically trying to feel. Physically, we are trying to be spiritual. Physically, by having a better car, more money, more stuff to eat, the luxury that we don't really need. And don't take me wrong, I'm all for luxury. I love luxury, just like the next guy, but not overly extended amount of it. Certain things are nice, technology, luxury, all these advancements are great, but to a point. Not to the point that my whole life would be focused on accumulating all these things, which I really have no need for it. It just makes me feel the illusion of being powerful, illusion of having become the Almighty, so to speak. Why do I spend my life pursuing illusions that the others have put into my head by manipulating my way of thinking from childhood to separate me from the source, from the universe, from the energy that I've come from, and make me go after the things that it's part of the matrix that they have created. And I become the slave that I'm supposed to become, and thinking that by going after all these things, material things, that's the way of happiness and life. And the only thing that I have in connection with the nature is my physical body, because I walk on earth, I touch things, and yet when I even walk and touch things, my mind and my energy, my soul, my connection abilities have been dormant. It's like out of order. I've been conditioned not to even know about them, let alone use them. Instead of, through childhood, being helped to develop this understanding, this ability to flow, to understand the flow of nature, flow of energy, flow of ki. Japanese call it ki, Chinese call it chi. Flow of this life source. Yet, I have been successfully separated and been turned into only a physical body and pursuing and too busy to satisfy the physical body, which comes the pleasure part. And pleasure has become the part that gives me so much sensation that sensation has become the addiction to me, and I pursue pleasure all my life thinking that pleasure is happiness. Pleasure is health. Which leads us to the all-time, above all pleasures for boys I'm talking about, I'm sure the girls the same, but I'm just talking about one kind, which is the girlfriend, getting married and have sex, intimacy. That pleasure seems to be now manipulating the whole life of ours, that everything that we want to achieve, the money, the car, the this, the that, is so we can have more of this pleasure of different kind. Not realizing that what we are having pleasure with or through is just the physical part of us with the physical part of our partner, and not anything more. It's a physical pleasure, which it's a never-ending satisfaction to it. You constantly need it to feel good. It's not like you'll be able to have this connection constantly, like the mind and the nature's power could have. Your energy and energy of the universe could have, as it is part of you, flows through you, passes through you, like the key in Star Wars, the force in Star Wars. So the pleasure becomes the paramount of life, and we pursue everything. This clothes to look this way, the girls have this all dude up and everything else, the boys have this and that, so forth, the watches, the cars, and the money and all that, all the images, all the things, just negotiating life through physical pleasures and physical attraction, physical manipulation, physical presentations, and they think that's where the power is. Yet, if you focus that what looks really wonderful and pleasurable, and you seek it and pursue it, if is not in connection, proper connection with the energy and the material process, the consciousness, the brain, and all that is not advanced or is not developed properly to have all what it takes to be a good addition to his own life and to the life of the partner, then it will always be not enough, and the happiness will not be realized, and that person wants to go to another pleasure point, somebody else, because they think this is the physical pleasure is limited, so it hasn't done anything to me to give me the full satisfaction, that psychological security, that whole thing that I'm looking after, the power and all that. So I go to somebody else. So constantly, boyfriends, girlfriends, husbands, wives, they break up to go to somebody else in order to satisfy and develop themselves through physical means, which comes to be physical pleasures, which comes to be incomplete, yet have an illusion of happiness, because pleasure seems to be what we all living for, and totally oblivious to the other purpose of our life, other part of our life, other abilities of our life that we have, is to understand the whole flow of energy and oneness with the nature, and to operate and to live according to the rhythm of the nature, rhythm of the universe, which that needs training, that needs focus, that needs full attention to, which that attention has been taken away from us from childhood, programmed us to be this physical being who is constantly pursuing physical things, trying to attain and achieve a spiritual development through attaining physical things, which they have no spirit or energy flowing through them. And that is why we simply are a bunch of dissatisfied people, because there's no end to the things that we can pursue, so many things for comfort and luxury and so on, and we are never satisfied. So we think if we get more, we will be happier, we'll be satisfied. To spend our whole life for material things and thinking from that we will arrive to a spiritual development and advancement. Something to think about. Talk to you soon, and thank you very much for enduring my discussion, but perhaps something to ponder on. Have a wonderful evening, and may the force be with you. May your energy and love always accompany you, and to be able to understand more of the flow of the energy of the universe, more of what you are understanding, more about that you and the nature are one, and they're both made out of the same thing. And with that approach, extending love to yourself and to the others, and don't waste your time on too much of a luxury and money and things where they're not where the answer is, and they're not where the happiness is, while some of it to a certain point is, of course, pleasant and necessary. Talk to you soon, and thank you.